With the race scenes, they were kind of really intense and thrilling, and there were a lot of kind of in-camera, in-helmet shots, as it were, of you guys driving. How much of that was you being in a car, and how much of that was you kind of drive acting?
If it's our eyes?
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, we certainly did some close-up stuff, you know, green screen, you know, pretend driving, but a lot of it, and, you know, Anthony Dobmantle, the cinematographer, and Ron were, you know, wanted to see that it was us in the cars, and so he mounted cameras all over the vehicles and had cameras, you know, positioned in the visor, in our helmets, and we'd whip around the track, and that was, you know, a hell of a lot of fun, and I think it gives it such a different feel visually than if it had all been green screen, you know.
With the green screen stuff, do you have any kind of tips for pretending to drive really fast?
You become a kid again, you know. It's like your imagination's got to go into overdrive and fill in the blanks, you know.
Yeah, but it was very good to be on the track, really, because the green screen stuff always, it makes you laugh. It's just yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Are you there? It's kind of going.
Yeah.
I remember that I was there, and we worked with a wind machine as well and green screen. I was sitting there in the car, and they were moving the car, and then a famous driver was called an Italian was called Andretti. And Ron was shouting, Andretti, and I always understood, yeah, I am ready, I'm already acting, you know. But he wanted to, you know, get some races right, so he would say, well, Andretti's behind you or next to you, and I was shouting Andretti. I said, what the fuck, I am ready.
The racing scenes as well, they're really intense and thrilling. How did you go about kind of trying to convey that either on paper and then on screen?
He always said he didn't know anything about Formula One, but he actually wrote the races very well. He kept saying, "Oh, don't worry about the races." And I said, "But you wrote them. I've got to do them."
Well, you know, races like, you know, I remember as a writer being shocked at the beginning when someone told me if you write a fight scene, there has to be a narrative to the fight scene. And of course, when you think about it and you break it down, there's a narrative to every race. You know, what happened in the race today, and I will tell you what happened in the race. It started, and you know, the favourite dropped back, and then there was an accident, and then this happened, and there was a restart. And actually, you know, within all that, there's always character drama. You know, there's a rivalry between two team colleagues, or one team has just been penalised, or this or that. So actually, very quickly, you can tell the story of a race in a way that makes sense as a storyteller, not as an action fiend. And so I did find that I did write the races, you know, when Niki's come back from the accident, and Fuji and this and that, they all have very distinct characters.
But the challenge directorially was to try to not let the races feel repetitive. And there's, you know, we cover a lot of ground, and there are a number of significant races. But I decided that the thing that they can't do on television is they can't really drag the psyche of the driver and the emotional state of the driver into the race and give it that kind of perspective. And so I decided to discipline myself to shoot each race from a slightly different vantage point, telling a slightly different story, while still getting across, you know, the broader narrative of what happened. And our cinematographer, Anthony Dobmantle, understood that completely and really made it have a significant impact on the movie in terms of where we would put the camera, creating almost a relationship between the drivers and the cars and the road that was, you know, personal, intimate, intense, beyond just sort of the next beat in the story of the race.
How well did the movie manage to capture the speed and intensity of being in
very
one of those
good,
cars?
because I think it's very difficult. There's never been a movie about Formula One done so good that you really see the speed and especially the accident, the way they filmed the accident. I was impressed too. I got frightened when I saw it in the movie, and the hospital scenes. I think they did a very good job.